Hello, my friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good and great and wonderful. Everything here is fine. I have the Chromebook. That means we're going to talk about NaNoWriMo today. I hope you're settled in. It's been a while. I haven't really talked about it because it's just been going. Like, it's fine. It's going fine, and I haven't even tweeted about it. I was doing daily updates. I haven't tweeted about it in a while, even though I am now currently ahead. I'm not very far ahead. I was like probably about 600 words ahead. I just finished a little, like, maybe 45-minute long writing session, and I'm now ahead of today's goal by 20 or 30 words. I have a bunch more I'm going to write tonight because I want to finish out this cool scene that I just wrote. It says I need to write 1,610 words today, and I've written 1,319. So I'm going to continue writing, but you know, my graph says I'm good. Right now I'm at 40,048 words. So 10,000 more words to go. I've been at it for 24 days in a row. I've not missed a day. I've been updating. There was a 3-day period where I was below my target, but I'm good. I'm good right now. And today I had a little bit of a crisis. Well, yeah, actually it started last night. I finished last night's writing out, and I was really happy with the setup. But I realized that I had forgotten the plot, right? I had forgotten. If you look back, last week I did a video where I talked about I was really unhappy with the direction that the book was headed. I wasn't really sure what the point was. My characters were just kind of going through the motions, and I didn't have a plot. Like, I've never had a plot for this book. I mean, I had like an idea. I was like, okay, the plot originally was going to be this character almost kills somebody and then has to fix the situation. What I discovered was that's not a very compelling plot. Like, it's okay. But what I ended up doing, when I got to that scene in the book, I realized, oh, I can make this like a whole subplot. And that can be just the kind of end of the first act. And I hit that point around the 25,000 word mark. So realistically, this is going to be a much bigger book than 50,000 words, but I'm going to hit the 50,000 word goal, right? And so last night I had this crisis of character where I realized that my character, my main character, currently doesn't really have an arc. Like, I teased something early on about him that is supposed to be kind of his downfall, but it's not really his. He's not intended to fall. It's supposed to be his like the problem, the real problem. You know, if you don't know, the writers talk a whole lot about what a character wants and what a character needs, right? And so what a character wants is the, like, I'm going to go get the sword, or I'm going to get the job that I've always wanted. And what the character needs is probably something completely different. So I'm going to get the job that I always wanted, but my family, my parents are dying, and they have nobody to take care of them. And so if I take this job, I'm sacrificing my parents. And what I really need to find is humanity. And then I take care of my parents, and I learn that compassion can be a job, and then I figure out a way to turn that into something more important or whatever. And the reality is that that internal character motivation is way more compelling than just a story of a guy going to get a sword. Going to get a sword can be fun, it can be interesting, but it's not nearly, for a reader, it's not nearly as involved and compelling as being a part of that character who's going to get the sword, who also learns that he can't do it by himself no matter how hard he tries, and he has to accept friendship into his life, and he has to trust. And he's, you know, even though his dad beat him and he has trust issues, he has to trust. And that's the story that actually compels the reader to continue reading, not the getting of the sword. So in my book, I literally just did a video about this last week. I did a video saying I forgot about my character, because I was worried about the plot not being enough, and I realized I have characters, and these characters should be going through something, and I completely forgot since that time to write that thing into the book. So I had this crisis of character literally last night. As like, what is the, hold on, this character is still just this flat line, like, I am stoic dude, I am going on adventure. And there's another character that's coming along with him now who is, well, he's just as flat, truthfully. He's just as flat. I'm not, people said you have to be cautious of introducing the second POV because you'll fall in love with that character more than your original POV. And I haven't. I mean, he's just another character, right? But for right now, both of them are these really flat-lined characters. And I realized last night, maybe this morning, and when I came to it, I realized, oh, I know what my character's arc is supposed to be now. I know what he is going through internally and how that is going to come to grip or come to a finality along with the overarching plot that I have planned out. And I haven't written it into the book at all. I've hinted at it early on, and I've hinted at it throughout, but it hasn't actually really driven the character yet at all. He hasn't had to take action against his, I guess, his fault or his failing. He hasn't had to take action against that yet. It's just been this thing that I kind of every now and then go, oh yeah, I'll write a couple lines about that. And I really need to ramp it up. Right now is the time. These two characters are in a place where they're isolated and they're about to come face to face with something that neither of them are prepared for. And I really, at that point, need him to also be dealing with his internal demons and marry those two things together somehow. So I'm excited to finish this out. I'm excited to write the rest of this thing out. But I really need to go back and patch it up. There's going to be a lot of that. And that's why I said yesterday when I get done with NaNoWriMo, I'm going to continue writing the book, obviously. It's going to take probably another couple of weeks at least to finish the first draft. I think this is going to be like a 70,000 word first draft. So that's going to take me into the first couple of weeks of December. Unless I hit like a stride. I might hit a stride and just bang this thing out and actually finish the draft by the end of November. I don't know. But after that, I'm going to do the writerly thing of setting it aside for a few months before I actually start the rewrite. And in that time, I'm going to study the plot and the character development of pulp. Because ultimately, that's what I want to write. I want to write little character pulpy tales. And those kinds of stories used to be magical for me, and I think they can be magical again. The problem is when you look at old pulp, there's not a lot of character. They're very just these baseline, like, I'm a detective, I do detective things, and I solve the crime, and the crime is the story. Whereas here, I want it to be more character focused. I want each story in the series to be about something that the character is internally trying to overcome or deal with, as well as having a cool story. So I'm going to study the plots of these older kind of serial, pulpy type things for a while before I come back to the rewrite, because I want to marry that together somehow without it becoming this bloated 2,000 word epic. It's still just going to be a little character story, right? Just a little focused character study. So we'll see. 40,048 words. I'm excited. I hope I can get, a little bit more done tonight. We'll see what happens. I'm going to make dinner and hang out with M for a while. And then I have children tomorrow, and then Thanksgiving on Thursday, and, all kinds of fun for the weekend. We'll see what happens. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing and being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I will see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is descry. It is a verb meaning to make discovery through careful examination. With barely more than a casual glance, Amanda was able to descry that the handbag was a knockoff. Descry. D-E-S-C-R-Y. My character does a whole lot of careful examination in this book, and I haven't typed the word descry once.